This is an episode of the Leadheads Podcast, a weapons and firearm podcast unlike any other. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing or checking out our YouTube page. Work the trigger. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Leadheads Podcast, episode 14, Heirloom Guns.
Hey guys, welcome back. That was loud. I'm speaking very loud tonight.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back to Leadheads. How are you all doing? And Builder, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
That is a very positive thing.
How are you doing today, work?
I'm actually. It's been an okay day until it came to bedtime, and then it was interestingly not quite as okay.
The old bedtime.
Well, actually they're quite young, so it's young bedtime. But that'll happen. But hey, how's it going, guys? Tonight we are going to be Right now, this episode. There we go. This episode, Junior. This episode is significantly like a more universal way to say that. So I should probably stick with that.
On this episode number 14 of the Leadheads Podcast,
we're going to be doing heirloom guns. Now, what is an heirloom gun, you might ask? Let's ask Builder.
It would be a gun that you would either pass down, or a gun that you would expect to get passed down through a family or close friends relationship.
There we go. So it's a quality firearm.
Yeah, like
something that you would be proud to pass down. I mean,
like
you can pass
Bursas, high
down.
points, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a couple of high points in there. We're good. So first, really quick, we're gonna be we got an early segment that we're gonna be doing every few podcasts now.
Yes.
And it's going to be what you carrying. So, Builder, what you carrying?
Today, I'm carrying a Grand Power Strybog.
Oh,
that's right. I pronounce it how I want it because I bought it my own self.
Okay. I want to point something very important out to the people who really like to pick on other people for not saying Strybog right, or Strybog. Absolutely no one pronounces the name Thor correctly.
That's true.
Nobody. So
That's
if you're
true.
not going to get all anal about Thor, then it can be Strybog.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
yeah,
I have my my Strybog pistol. It's a SP9A1. The
Gen 2.
The non-reciprocating charging handle.
The best bog is what we call that.
I would say arguably the most reliable one.
I don't think that's arguable.
It's got a Sightmark Wolverine optic on it.
Really quick, have you ever held that above your head and just gone, Wolverines?
I might have. I don't know. I've had that optic on a few different guns.
It's going to happen now.
I have a folding brace on it with a tail hook brace adapter thingy.
That tail hook is a legit brace feature.
It is fine.
The HB, not HB. What are the other ones?
The SB.
SB, that's it. The SB tactical ones, they work, but they are a pain in the butt to get, on and, cinched down. Mm-hmm. That thing, you pop that little hook down, and it's perfect. Now, it is hand-specific. I found that out when I was playing with it one day. I cannot utilize it the same as you can. But it's a legitimate brace.
Yeah, it's very solid, too. And then I got miscellaneous HB Enterprise parts.
Industries.
HB Industries parts.
You got an ambi charging handle.
Yeah,
you got
dual-side charging handle.
Badass brake on there.
Nice little brake. Got some JP trigger springs in there. And I got the mag full of some Fiocchi 124 grain jacketed hollow points.
I do get questions a lot about whether brakes work very well on a Strybog, and the answer is yes. They really do change the way that gun it doesn't need it per se.
No. But
once you go with one, you're not going to take it off and go back.
Yeah.
Unless you put a suppressor on.
Yeah.
That would be acceptable.
I mean, it's on there. I don't even know that I've noticed it on there, but I honestly couldn't tell you the last time I shot my Strybog either.
Having shot, because I actually took those out to do a before and after of both. You can definitely tell.
Okay.
It's significantly flatter shooting with the comp on there.
I believe that.
So I am carrying my CZ P10C. I'm gonna yank it out of my pants. Hopefully not bang. So I got my I don't back up from my mic. That's making me sound really weird. Got my P10C here. It is very, very far from stock. It's running a Norso slide, a Hollerson 507C on top. It's got a HB Industries Theta trigger, which is the best trigger for a P10. It's running their slightly reduced power striker spring. That's the word I'm looking for. What else do I have on that thing? I don't know. Stock barrel. It is a stock barrel. CZs are so hard though, because like with the barrels on CZs, I'm gonna shift this a little bit because this sounds better. With barrels on CZs, like the stock barrels are just so freaking accurate. I have a very hard time ever replacing them.
Yeah.
It's not like a Gen 3 or 4 Glock where it's like...
Right, that's kind of where I'm at with my Gen 5 Glocks. Like my 17, I would love to put a flush crown barrel on there, but nobody will flush crown my factory barrel, and I'm not going to pay for a different barrel because it's not going to be an improvement.
No, you don't need it anymore.
No.
So the my P10 is sitting in a Harry's Holsters Gen 3 Singleton. That's right. It's the newest. I know it's the new hotness.
The new.
I'm not sure those are even in the distribution center yet. So I may have really gotten ahead of the curve on that one.
Definitely put on his chapstick, if you know what I mean.
Hey, a little bit of an inside track on that since I did the design work on it, but and then I'm running the little hook here that shall not be named mostly because it doesn't have a name yet.
Oh, it has a name.
We can't say it. Not that. So really quick. Explain a little bit more about heirlooms. I got to do something really quick.
You got to see a man about a donkey.
That.
Okay, so I think we discussed this a little bit beforehand, just briefly. Hey, what guns are you doing? But mine are actually mostly specific guns, and I believe works are actually more vague, broad categories.
Yeah, mine are definitely more vague. It's like I've got guns that. Don't touch that, jeez. I've got specific guns listed within those to kind of narrow it down a little bit more.
Gotcha.
But generally, we're working on categories.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go first today because I'm pretty sure I went first twice last time.
Yeah, well, it happens.
It does.
Okay.
About every other time.
So my first one is a very, very specific gun, and this is
your one of these.
Huh?
It's so specific that it's yours.
No, I wish it was. It is an older model, Remington 700 BDL, which is the high polished walnut finish stock, the high polished blued barrel in action, in 30-06, which everybody knows by now that I don't like 30-06. It goes in this gun, with a high polished loopholed scope on it. I'm very specific on this because I actually had almost this exact same gun for a while. I had it in 338 Win Mag, and my dad and I both kick ourselves about it constantly because it was just an absolute beautiful gun. And I mean it's a kind of gun that is classic to me. Like it can stand the test of time. It's just a great gun, in my opinion. They
really are. Those guns are it's just something about that general design on them that is timeless.
Yes.
It really breaks the barriers of time.
Whoa. And I mean, I'm not saying you're going to go and shoot, sub-MOA groups all day and do all that stuff, but the older Remingtons like that, there's a pretty good chance you could.
Yeah. I mean, they were about as accurate as you could get at the time.
Yeah.
Which was relatively accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like things have gotten that much better nowadays. Not at 30-06 distances anyway. The majority of the accuracy increases these days have been well past 30-06 range.
Yes.
Because 30-06 is effective out to what, about 800 or so?
In Indiana, 30-06 will do about 1,000.
Okay.
308 will do about 800 max in Indiana.
Okay. Shooting downhill with the wind behind you.
Yep.
Okay. So my first one is going to be. I'm going to kind of bounce off that. I'll do my like categoric one probably like right after you do your specific one.
Okay.
Okay. So mine is a pre-1960 hunting rifle. Now, why 1960?
Okay.
It's 1960s, late 1960s into the 70s is when the firearms companies really started cheapening out on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They started trying to cut the corners because, well, things were being made cheaper elsewhere. So, specifically, a couple of specific options here are a Winchester Model 70.
Yep.
And a Marlin 336.
Absolutely. Those were the first two that popped in my head as well.
Yeah, those are both guns that were made, and then obviously 700s made back in the day.
Right,
When did the 700 come out? That was
I don't know.
Not much before that, I don't think.
I don't know. I'm
But-
not sure. I know the 700 was used in Vietnam.
Right.
The 70 was was used more commonly, but the 700 made a few appearances.
1962.
Okay.
So technically, that doesn't match underneath my thing, but it's again that's when they started I mean, with the 700, one of the things about the 700 was that it was a quality made firearm, but it was relatively inexpensive. Like it wasn't super expensive because of the way that they made it. They've got removable barrels. It's not. I mean,
it was this new action that was bulletproof. That wasn't a Mauser action.
Right.
Yeah,
one of the
everything
first
was a Mauser action.
Yep.
In fact, Remington used to make a 798, and it was a Mauser action rifle. I remember them being for sale when I was younger. So that wasn't terribly long ago. I mean, 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it because they made a 798 in 7.6239. And I wanted it real bad.
Should have got one.
Should have.
Too late now.
But I didn't.
You snoozed.
I could only imagine how much one of those is now.
I could only imagine. All right, you're up. Next one.
798 comes out of the clouds. Thank you,
God,
sir. May I have
spotlight from
another?
the top.
My second one is it's more narrowed down than I think yours are.
Okay.
But it is a category, I would say. And it would be a Smith & Wesson revolver.
Okay.
And I don't want to say anything bad about these by not including them, but I'm not talking about a 442 or a 642. Excuse me.
That was very loud.
A Chief Special. I would put a Chief Special in there,
Okay.
but kind of what resonates in my head, and it's just because I see the gun right now that I know is an heirloom gun in my family. Is just a good classic 686. So there's plenty of other models of Smith that fit in there. I mean, all the Smith classic line, the blued revolvers. But like we were saying with the Remington 700, the older ones, it's a timeless kind of gun. And it's just, to me, that is a beautiful piece of history that can be passed down through the generations. And I mean, I don't know of anybody short of maybe Jerry that could wear out a Smith revolver.
I prefer the blued, the old blued Smiths, but they'll still fall under that category of being heirlooms. Like they're just quality built. And I've talked to a couple of revolver guys, and shy of very few Ruger guys, everybody agrees on Smith & Wesson. Even the Ruger guys agree on Smith & Wesson. They just shoot Ruger.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with a Ruger revolver. But I for it to be an heirloom, in my opinion, it would need to be a Smith.
I would agree with that.
I guess I would put a Dan Wesson in there too.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'd put that in there.
Eh,
Not my category, not my call.
not your category. You're not my dad.
Okay. All right. So, my next one is again a category less narrowed down than that, but still relatively narrowed. So it's going to be a quality 1911.
Okay.
And by quality 1911, I do not mean a Kimber. I don't mean
Right.
a Springfield Armory.
An old Kimber is a quality 1911.
Even an old Kimber, for me, wouldn't fit into this. I'm talking old Colt. Mm-hmm. So old Colt does. Mm-hmm. But also guns like Dan Wesson's, Nighthawks, Wilson Combats.
Okay.
Stuff that you... And for this particular section of this particular category, because this one will come up again later on. But it's one of those guns that is known for quality. It's the hand fit ones that, because Kimber doesn't hand fit, especially now. They used to. Back the ones that you were talking about, they hand fit.
Yeah.
They don't anymore. They're machine fit. It's basically,
there's a huge demand for Kimber, and the only way you can meet that demand is to not hand fit everything.
Right. And it's unfortunate because their quality has taken a hit.
It has.
But yeah, so maybe an old Kimber, but mostly it's going to be these high-end 1911s. Not on that list anywhere is a 2011. 2011s don't count.
Yeah, it's a different gun.
It is a different gun.
Now maybe in 20 years it'll be a different story.
It might be.
My grandpa's STI.
Yeah. But also on that list, not 9mm in this case.
No.
I would say that it's
45, 10 millimeter, 38 Super.
Yep. So that's where I would go. And I have a decent shaped 9mm that I'm handing down, but I don't consider that an heirloom quality gun. It's just something that I kind of had planned when I got it. So
right, it's gonna be the gun you hand to your son and make sure the safety's on.
Yeah, byproduct of having a son named Remington. Yeah, and make sure you have the safety on because the trigger's like 2.5 pounds.
If you sneeze, it's gonna go off 3 times.
I've done that. Maybe not 3, but it has been accidentally boomed before.
Yep. Okay, so my next one, I'm gonna say a big bore rifle. So I like iron sight rifles.
Okay.
So this
weirdo.
I guess I should take away the big bore. I'm gonna say an iron sight rifle. This could be a nice milsurp, like an SMLE or an Enfield or 1917.
Okay.
I guess an Enfield is an SMLE, but I was thinking of 1903 when I said that. But what my personal opinion on this, my plan is to hand down to my son as soon as they come back in stock somewhere, is the Marlin 1895 CB.
Mm-hmm.
Not the carbine version, but the 26-inch monster version.
God, that thing is so big.
It's
a good thing he's a big kid.
Well, that's part of the allure of the gun.
Fall over.
Yeah, like my dad had a Mossberg 500, and it was an old one, with the steel receiver.
Okay.
And he had a rubber butt pad on it, so it was a little longer than normal, and a 28-inch barrel. And we'd go out and shoot clay birds with it, and it was like, Dad, I can't pick this gun up. Dad, I can't pick this gun up. And then one day I could pick the gun up. And it was just, that was really cool. It was. And that's kind of what I want with this gun. You know, when you're old enough to pick it,
stopped aging.
Yes. When you're old enough to pick this up and shoot it offhand, you're old enough to have it. And that's kind of what I want. But like a classic bolt action with iron sights, you know, your milsurp rifles. Mm-hmm. Those can definitely be heirloom guns if they are treated well.
Right. Right. And that's one of the things about heirloom guns is you want them, generally speaking, to be in very good shape. Mm-hmm. Now, my next category is going to get into something that it doesn't have to be in great shape. Mm-hmm. Good shape still is preferred, but not great shape.
Okay.
So, Are you done with that one?
I'm done with that one.
Okay.
Quit peeking at my list.
So I didn't do it intentionally. It's just there. It's pointed towards me. Okay. So my next one is going to be a quality surplus gun. From either... Now, I've got from either World War. But I guess I should actually specify. It's more like the World Wars back. So I would, like, if you want to get into, like, Civil War, if you were lucky enough to get something from back then, or, like, the Spanish-American War, something from, like, those cool days, totally accept that.
Mosin and before.
Huh?
Mosin and before.
So, specifically, I have 1911 M1 Enfields, Mausers, 1903 Springfields, not Mosins. I specified on my list, not Mosins.
What's that?
I don't know.
I don't remember. There's one Mosin that Iraq Vet goes... No, I had one of those. But Iraq Vet goes on and on about it being a better rifle. I don't remember what it was.
I don't know.
Like an M37 or something. The M44 was one... It was my first big boy gun. Mm-hmm. I went to a gun show with my dad with $200 and I wanted to buy a rifle. And I bought an M44 and a spam can of ammo.
Long gone are those days.
And had change in my pocket when I left. We took that thing home and it blasted through our backstop. And mind you, our backstop was pretty good. Nope. Wouldn't stop it. It was rough.
I almost miss having a Mosin, but the guns that I've got to replace the Mosin are so much better. It's not funny.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, specifically not a Mosin. The problem with Mosins is they were generally not very well built guns in the first place.
Right.
They were okay, but they're not. I mean, there is one caveat to that I would accept a Mosin being, and that is if you are Russian. If you are Russian or like have Russian descent or something, like if it's like legit a part of your history,
right?
Cool. Get a Mosin, hand it down.
I think Finnish was the nicer Mosin.
Mosins are so messed up because like they just owned everybody over there. So there's like 30 different places. I guess there's a technically owned.
Like, you make rifle now.
Exactly.
You stop make shoes. You make rifle now.
Like I had 2 hex receivers made at the Tula factory or something like that, and I don't know. I mean they were nice looking guns. Accuracy was crap on them by the time I got them, but they were nice looking.
I had a round receiver and it shot round receiver 9130. Mm-hmm. It shot great. I mean you could hit clay birds at 100 yards with it.
That's pretty good. I hate Mosin iron sights. Hate them.
Yeah.
Those are some of the worst iron sights ever. That's it. That's all I got.
That was yours?
Yeah.
Okay, so mine, I actually skipped ahead on mine because I didn't want to do what you just did. So mine is a, and it's going to overlap as well. Mine is a nice wartime or higher end 1911. And I'm gonna mix wartime in because I hadn't really thought about them, and I know a guy that has been collecting them. And wartime stuff really doesn't do a lot for me. Like the historical part, it doesn't do anything for me at all.
Do I know this guy? I do, don't I?
You do.
Yeah.
But he hands me a 1911 that was used in World War I, and that's really cool. Like, you can not be into that, like me, and somebody hands you a gun that was, I mean, this saw action, or this was made, or, you know, whatever, in World War I, World War II. That means a lot. Like, that's super cool. And then I have higher end 1911s. I was going along the same line, you know, earlier Colts.
To me, earlier Colts like wins over a Nighthawk or like all of that stuff. I would take as much Nighthawks and Dan Wessons and stuff. They are going to be better guns.
Yes.
Sorry, Colt. I would take the Colt over them.
Yes. But along with that, mine's not as specific as yours was with the 1911s because I would open it up to new manufacturer stuff like the Smith & Wesson E-Series.
Okay.
Admittedly, I've had a hard-on for one of those for a long time.
But you've been talking about those for like years.
The higher-end models of different companies, I think qualify for this as well.
I have a hard time with this. Springfield Armory makes a nice 19.
Yeah, like a TRP. Yeah, you could hand down a TRP.
Now, I hate to admit it because Springfield screwed some people over, but I'm trying to get over that. It's not working, but I'm trying.
Yeah, it happens.
Is that it for that one?
That's it. I mean, it
All right.
had a lot of overlap with the last 3.
So my next one is going to, again, have a little overlap here, too. I don't think there's a lot of there's not a lot of space for this. I mean, the general idea of heirloom guns is... I'm not looking at your list, I promise. I'm looking at the bog. Okay, so mine is any firearm with sentimental value. Now, this is where I was talking about the quality of the firearm and that you want them to be good. This is where that quality can go to ever-loving crap and just be what it is. I mean, generally speaking, it'd be nice if the gun worked, but...
Right.
And I think one part where this is going to touch on is that the 1911 that was used in World War II.
Right.
If you get a 1911 that was used in World War II by a family member, it does not matter what type of shape that is in. It could be a rusted hunk of junk.
Yep.
The fact that that is what it is makes that something that you can hand down.
You would definitely need to put that Recover Tactical
100%.
grip with the plastic rail on it, though.
I actually know somebody who got one of those on a... Don't remember if it was a 1911 or a Beretta 92. It was a Beretta. It was I think it was an Inox, actually.
Oh.
And the gun didn't run. Yeah, it
It refused.
It pinched. Yeah, it was like no, these things are made so bad that like it went up and like rubbed the slide and it just wouldn't cycle well. So, but yeah, like there's any gun, and again, it doesn't even have to be something that important. Like, oh, it was used in World War II. Personally, I have a firearm that was handed. I got it when my dad passed away. And it's not a... There were a lot of them. It's called Huntsman. There were a lot of them. It was like basically the Remington Mark series of the time.
Right.
You know,
The
you could
Ruger
go
Mark
to
series.
yeah. You could go to Kmart and buy them. But that's the first pistol I ever shot.
Right.
So it's got a lot of sentimental value. And, I mean, they're collector's items now, but I'm not going to sell it. He actually, my dad one time, he was like, "Did you see the price on these things?" And I'm like, "Yes, I have." And he goes, "I think I might sell it." And I'm like, "No, you're not."
You're not allowed to.
I said, if you ever sell that to anybody and you don't, like, say, "Hey, like, can I get $700 for this first?" I will injure you. I just will. And then I'll hunt them down, like, Taken style. And I have a very specific set of skills.
Work sitting in his basement, listen to a guy say, "Have a good day. Have a good day. Have a good day." You're gonna have a good day.
So yeah, that's my... What are we on, 4? I think that was 4.
That was number 5.
That was 5? There's
Yeah.
no way that was 5.
Yeah.
I've got a spare one. No.
I mean, I have a spare one too, but
No, that was 4.
that was my...
You went through 2.
Sorry,
Did you?
Sorry. I am about to start on number 5.
You are high on something, sir. What did you drink before you came in here?
Water.
What?
Okay, so my number 5, again, piggybacking on that,
Dang it.
would be like the Colt Huntsman and Colt Woodsman, and that's in his family.
That is
in my family. There is a Ruger Standard.
Ooh.
A Ruger Standard is, the predecessor to all the Mark series.
Those are solid, too.
They're solid old 22s that still hold up. I mean, they're still... You can outshoot a lot of stuff with them.
Yep. I've not shot a standard in a long time, but the Huntsman is as, if not more accurate than my Marks.
The Standard, it's a pain in the ass to get mags for. That's really the only problem with the Standard. I don't know how Huntsman is. I imagine it's probably similar.
I have never seen a magazine for sale for the Huntsman.
Yeah,
Never.
probably one of those things where the mags is as expensive as the gun. But,
Reminds me that I should probably start looking for that if we ever have gun shows again.
Yeah, that's true.
We haven't had a gun show in over a year. It's insane.
But we had the 1500 not too long ago.
I mean local in town.
Yeah.
I actually talked to the guy a little bit about it, and he said that they won't. They are not booking his show.
Well, and the fairgrounds shut down too.
It did. But I don't know if they're even allowing him to.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So I told him if he was having problems, let me know, and I'll rally the troops.
Nice.
I do have a little bit of reach. It's not a whole lot, but I've got a little bit of reach. Anyway,
so yeah, like an older Colt Huntsman, Colt Woodsman, Ruger Standard, Ruger Mark 1, just those old original guns. The Ruger Standard we have is a Black Eagle version. The grips have the Black Eagle on it, which
that sounds incredibly expensive.
Well,
for the time.
It's not,
okay.
But they have the Black Eagle logo instead of the silver one.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the Black Eagle logo came out the year that I think Strum died.
Who?
Strum Ruger.
Oh, okay, right.
But that probably adds more to the value, but it doesn't matter because it's not going anywhere.
Right.
Like I know right where that gun is, and I know right where that gun will be in the future. Like
every time you go to the specific place that gun is, you look at it, and if it's moved 1 inch, you're like, Dad, why is this moved?
He's allowed to shoot it, but
he has to put it back in the exact spot, though.
But it's one of those things, like, my brother-in-law is going to get his choice of whatever he wants, except the standard and except the 686. You can have all the ARs.
Yeah.
But my dad doesn't have any ARs. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No. He's not an AR guy. Okay. Is that all you got for that?
That's all I have for that. Cool. That was a kind of weak finish, but, sentimental stuff.
That's how we roll.
I do have a bonus, though.
Okay, I don't have a bonus, but I got one last one. And it's weird, but we'll go with it because it's because of something that you have going on and kind of, yeah. It's just a quality old lever action. Old design lever action. Let me correct myself. It's so specifically I like the ones that are pre-1900 design. So unfortunately that takes Marlin out of it.
No, that's fine. You're not hurting my feelings.
It's Henry and Winchester. Those two, don't get me wrong, Marlins are awesome, but they fall more into that into the hunting, the pre-60 hunting rifles.
It is.
The Henrys and the oh man, I did just think of an addition.
The Winchester you could put in there too.
Yeah, Henry and Winchester.
Oh.
I said those, you just weren't listening.
I thought you said something else. I was thinking about something else.
Jerkwad's tool bag. But yeah, I mean, they are the pre-1900s. I guess the lever action is just in general a classic design that is kind of timeless, and
it is.
That's one thing that I really think about heirloom guns is timeless designs or classic designs are the best ones to do. Just mantelpiece type stuff.
I think we'll be talking about lever actions again pretty soon on one of the upcoming episodes as well. There's a pretty good chance of that.
Yes, we will. Okay, so what is your bonus? Because I just thought of one too.
Okay,
so.
My bonus is a monetarily worthless gun.
Okay.
That holds great sentimental value or is full of memories.
Yep.
For that particular gun, I have a Mossberg 183T, which is it's right now it's a single shot, but it's a bolt action 410.
Okay.
With a full choke on it. I remember when I was younger, I took it into a gun shop to see what I could get out of it, and mind you, this was my first shotgun. I was just stupid, and the guy offered me $25 for it. So this thing's not worth anything.
Right.
It shoots every time. It is a fun gun. My son is going to shoot this gun, and my son is going to get this gun. I should probably get something for my daughter at some point. She'll get the 1022.
Yeah.
That fits her personality more.
Well, I watch. She's going to be the one of them that likes shooting.
I know. But yeah, your grandpa's H&R single shot, or
that you went out hunting with him with.
Yes, I shot my first deer with my grandpa's rifle. Whatever.
Yep, it's an H&R, one of those conversion. Well, the conversion ones are expensive now because they don't make them anymore. But,
right.
But I digress.
But still, something that in the eyes of the world is worth nothing, but
Yep.
in the eyes of you is worth everything.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to have to help me with my last one because I can never remember the model.
Okay.
I know you know it, though. Okay, so we haven't talked about shotguns at all.
870 Wingmaster.
Nope. What is the Remington auto loader with the hump on the back that puts the sight line like directly in line
So
when you line up on
that's
that
a
thing?
Remington Model 11, but it's based off of the Browning A5.
The Browning is the one that I'm thinking of.
Yes.
The
A Browning Auto 5.
Yep, those. The
You could have
Browning
just said humpback.
Okay, so and the thing that
That's
first
not on
brought
my
this,
list, and now I'm mad.
Yeah. So that shotgun is one that my dad was not a shooter, mind you, but that was one that he always, every time we saw one of those at a gun show, he was like, I wish I had one of those, because it was comfortable for him, because they're perfectly lined up every time, especially for an iron sight gun like shotgun.
There's a spider climbing up that wire.
Is there? Oh, there is. Cool. We're locked in a deep. No. That spider is not worth $5.
Maybe not your $5. It's
Oh yeah,
attacking.
your problem is spiders. See, if it was a snake, I'd be pulling out the guns on it. We covered that already. Okay, so that was my bonus. I'm done now. I'm out. I'm spent.
And I'm spent.
Well, hey, thanks guys for hanging out with us while we talked about our top 5 heirloom guns, or heirloom category.
What we think are good heirloom guns.
This is
Gooder
ending-
than others.
This is ending very poorly.
Stay tuned for blooper reel.
We don't have that much this time around.
Aww.
We didn't chit chatter at the beginning like we usually.
We did, but the camera wasn't on.
That is true. We were doing that sitting over there instead. So hey guys, thanks again for hanging out with us on the podcast. Remember, if you like this and you're listening on your podcast app, do us a favor and give us a follow. It would be really awesome if you could leave a review. I actually don't know how to do reviews on podcast apps.
I don't either.
I don't do podcasts.
I'm one of those pieces of crap that looks at everybody's review but doesn't do one.
You tool bag.
I know.
And then when the podcast people are like begging for you to do reviews, you just sit there like with this guilt-stricken face like, I'm never going to do that.
I donate on Patreon. Leave me alone.
If you're watching this on YouTube, head over to your favorite podcast app. You will find us at Leadheads Podcast. If you like the podcast and you want to help out a little bit, you can help us out over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/leadheadspodcast. I think that's about it. I think that's the whole spiel.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey guys, thanks, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys. Thing too.
Yeah, and let's figure out something stupid to do, like for... You talk.
Does it matter which one of these ports I plug into?
Nope. They are the same. Is that your carry gun?
Yeah.
I love it. Best effing carry gun that we're doing.
That's on Boogaloo mode.
Let's not boog my basement, please.
Check yourself
Check
before you
yourself.
wreck yourself.
Before you wreck yourself. Check yourself during the wrecking of selves.
Which one are we doing first?
I don't know.
Outliner Leadheads Podcast.
I believe I went last, by the way, so...
Episode number
14.
14.
14. That's it. It's German. That was my foreign language in school. Super awesome.
Mine was Spanish.
You made the better choice, sir.
I failed.
Bye.
Do.